start with one of the premier offensive players in the country, and that is Madison Booker. Her ability to get to her spots on the floor is second to none. During this NCAA tournament, 24 points a game, shooting 58% from the floor, and Rory Harmon, one of the premier defensive players in the country. And the way she played with heart and hustle in the Sweet 16 game, leading her team, trying to get them back to another Final Four.
And that big two really has become a big three. Look at what Jordan Lee has done in this tournament. At least 17 points in each of Texas's first three games. First time she's done that in her career. Meanwhile, for Michigan, they are led by an incredibly talented sophomore duo.
Yeah, a couple of potent young guns, and we'll start with the 6'1" guard, Olivia Olson, who averages 19 points a game, 6 boards a game, gets to her spots, and Silas Swords, a 3-level scorer, gets to the rim, mid-range, and the quick release on the 3.
You see the numbers they have put up, points and efficiency for Olsen and Swords. Now we send things over to another Hall of Fame. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. You are watching the Elite Eight, presented by AT&T. Taking a look at our Capital One starting lineups for Michigan. Olivia Olson, Mila Holloway, Brooks Quarles, Daniel Silas Swords, and Ashley Sofakanik round out the Michigan starting lineup. For Texas, the senior Rory Harmon, Jordan Lee, Madison Booker, Justice Carlton, and Freya Cunningham to finish off their starting 5. Michigan led by Kim Barnes-Arico, winningest coach in program history. Her 14th season has taken Michigan to their only 2 Elite Eight appearances, and Vic Schaefer, his 6th season at Texas. They have been in the Elite Eight 5 times, trying to head back to a Final Four in consecutive seasons. Here we go, Elite Eight matchup. Texas and Michigan is underway.
You see Michigan starting out in their man-to-man defense. Texas wants to take advantage of their size inside. A point of emphasis for Vic Schaefer at shoot-around.
He said, I better have my bigs touching it every time down the floor. They don't have someone who can deal with it. Carlton, one of those bigs, able to finish.
And a really nice job by Madison Booker to handle the blitz. That's what Michigan does on ball screens. Texas handled it well.
Meanwhile, Michigan was able to bounce back after a tough start against Louisville and their pressure in the Sweet 16, perhaps helping prepare them for tonight in the Texas defense. But a turnover there early from Olsen, and right away Swords says, all right, come
on. Quarles Daniels, knowing that you are going to help off of her because she does not take many threes.
And then what she does is take advantage on the offensive glass when there's not a body on her from the roamer. Freya Cunningham surrounded, kicks it out. Lee off to Booker. Guarded nicely there by Holloway. Booker loses it, 5 to shoot. Booker lost her footing again, and Swords comes up with it for Michigan. Here's Silas Swords all the way in for 2.
And that's where Michigan thrives, when they turn teams over 21 turnovers per game, and then they're able to get out and get buckets in transition.
13th in the nation in forcing turnovers. It's just the second time these teams have met in their histories. The other meeting back in November of 2018, a Texas win. Booker, baseline jumper, it is feathery.
2 defenders running at her, but when she gets a clean look at the basket, it's going to be a problem for the opponent. And you see here, difficult.
Right there for a second straight season. Michigan looking to make their first ever Final Four. We also have the Michigan men in the Final Four, and Michigan men's hockey to the Frozen Four this year. There's Sofakanik. Holloway at 7 assists, 1 turnover in the Sweet 16. The line drive attempt is off. Booker secures it, looking to blast down the floor, and carried as she did.
We don't usually see a hitch in Madison Booker when she's...
Love her KDs tonight, though. The rainbow colors.
Those are nice.
Here's Holloway. Throwing it a little behind Swords, who is fouled by Harmon. And that'll be an early personal on Rory Harmon.
That's a tough one for Rory Harmon. She plays so aggressively, so physically. You don't want to pick up that kind of a chintzy foul.
Beautiful description. Here's Swords on the pull-up, a little too much on it, and Cunningham, the weak side rebound. Here's Harmon. So much speed to her game. Harmon gets into the paint, finds the angle in the bottom of the bucket.
Beautifully done, working the baseline and then turning your back to get the look at the basket.
Holloway into the paint, got denied by Lee. Booker. Harmon directing traffic, will settle things down. Lee on the attack, shovels it, knocked away. Beautifully done by Quarles Daniels. Here comes Swords. Swords looking for a whistle, couldn't find that or the bucket. Gets it back, can't squeeze it in. Cunningham there. Harmon quickly ahead. A 6-2 lead in the early going for Texas. Texas has won 51 straight games in the state of Texas.
There's been a nice fast pace to this game. Both teams comfortable playing fast.
Oh, what a touch pass from Harmon, and Cunningham finishes. And a timeout taken by the officials as Swords bleeding, and you can see Kim Barnes-Arico saying that's the second. Texas, an 8-2 lead with 6:09 to go in this first. Two games later, so she's kept the mask on for the rest of the season.
Man, it's so annoying. As I played with a mask after a broken nose, and there's nothing more frustrating than getting hit again in the mask, in the face, especially when you don't have a foul called.
How much does it hurt?
A lot.
Olsen dives in, can't finish. Lee the rebound. Pushing for Texas. Lee, what speed from Jordan Lee. Quickly the other way, and Michigan turns it over. An 8-0 run for Texas. They are 5 of 5 from the floor in the early going. In that game against Louisville, Michigan went almost 6 minutes without scoring, and they were down 8-0 early, then outscored Louisville by 27 points the rest of the way. Here's Lee, hounded by Quarles Daniels, and the foul comes in. Rebecca, how about the evolution of Jordan Lee? She was already a very strong defender, a threat from three, but she has been blossoming into a star in her own right over the last couple months of this season.
Yeah, without question. She had added opportunity this year, and she's certainly taken advantage of it, can score in a variety of ways, remains an elite defender.
Winner of this game will face UCLA in the Final Four. Booker on the attack, banks it in. Texas has not missed yet, and a 12-2 start. Olsen gets a whistle.
And I think you're going to see this more from Michigan. Olivia Olsen, the one bringing the ball up the floor to alleviate some of that pressure.
You know, they knew I was hurt by the way they played, and they expressed to me they weren't happy with how I talked about them and their effort. And he said it ended up a great thing because we really had a wonderful conversation about it, got to know each other better and feel closer than ever in the aftermath of it, and they've played some incredible basketball. Cunningham lays it in.
You saw after the free throw, Michigan picking up in their full court pressure, run and jump, and while Rory Harmon handled it beautifully.
Dudley misses it wildly. Texas 7 for 7 from the floor to start this game. Booker, Shore, 8 for 8 from the floor for Texas.
See Delphos in the game. Not only defensively is she guarding Rory Harmon, but now here helping to initiate in the quarter court.
And Crockett into the game, getting minutes here. Alyssa Crockett has not played much in this tournament. Foul.
We're so sure of it, we don't even have to ask Dee.
Right. Holloway can't finish. Harmon wanted to get it to Lee, streaking, could not. Harmon lays it in, plus the foul. Timeout, Michigan. It's a Texas deluge to start the Elite Eight.
Rory Harmon knows she has a bigger defender on her. Crossover, explosive, absorbs the contact, feeling good about it. I think there's a team that has looked better than Texas from the conference tournament on. They have not had a single game where they've kind of had a blip or not performed well, shot the ball well. They have been so incredibly impressive to me throughout the course of the last 11 games.
Let's send it over to Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, something to keep in mind here as you're watching Rory Harmon play. She got her hand jammed in their last game against Kentucky. She was very upset on the bench. She said it hurt so bad. She is wearing a little soft splint on that middle finger. Her knuckle is pretty swollen. I had her show it to me at shoot-around today, and it is sore. But she said, Holly, I'm good. My vibes are good. My legs are good. She is not worried about this, but just something for you to keep in touch. Also had a little blood early in the game on that same arm and hand, but she says it's not going to stop her.
All right, Al. Thank you for the update. Rory Harmon about as tough as they come.
I was going to say, she oozes toughness.
Yeah, truly. Her 154th start today, which is tied for the most in program history. Linda Wagner with the record previously. Held ball here, and possession arrow belongs to Michigan.
Justice Carlton having a few words with Olivia Olson after that jump ball call.
Rebecca, how does Michigan find some level of poise and offense after enduring this 18-4 blitz?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's going to start with getting stops on the defensive end, Ryan. They haven't gotten a single stop, and then they can try to fuel that, you know, going in the other way, but it's always hard going against Texas because of the amount of pressure they put on you in the quarter court.
Olsen could not get a whistle. Here comes Booker, the fling ahead, too tall. Used an 8-iron, needed a pitching wedge, and Texas turns it over. As Olsen will check out. Now, one of the players on the floor right now for Michigan, Teala Delfas, really changed the game against Louisville coming off the bench. Was a plus 31 in 22 minutes in the Sweet 16. Here's Holloway. Missed the layup. Put back won't go for Carls Daniels. Michigan has missed its last 11 shots. Meanwhile, Texas is still 9 for 9. Carlton will take first miss of the game for Texas. Holloway, the sophomore point guard, lays it in. And that could have been number 2 on Rory Harmon.
Certainly, but that's what Michigan needed. When they get stops and can push the ball the other way and get bare fruit on the other end, then they can pick up in their run and jump.
Under 2:30 to go in the first. Texas an 18-6 lead on Michigan. Trip to the Final Four on the line. Harmon. Lee will fire and hit.
You see Texas run that floppy action often for Madison Booker or Lee, and they can come off screens on either side. That time the defender got left behind.
Carls Daniels giving it up to Dudley. Dudley, a quick move, gets the whistle. Lee picks up her first. Dudley, the transfer from UCLA, misses the first.
Vic Schaefer brought up Dudley, as you mentioned, both her ability to drive by bigger defenders and get to the basket, but also how she can trap on ball screens. There will be times when she's on the floor, we will go away from our package, our offensive packages that involve on-ball screens.
Knocked away, there's a steal, Dudley involved. Delfas. Here's Holloway. Runs into Cunningham on the hedge, no whistle. Quarles-Daniels, there she is. Another offensive rebound. Swords at three, missed it right. Delphos, the O-board, another chance for Michigan. Holloway using the Dudley screen. Delphos fakes the three. Dudley with 7 to shoot. Holloway now with 4, knocked away by Booker. Holloway gets it off and gets the roll.
How many offensive rebounds did Michigan have on that possession? They were all over the glass.
It was at least 2.
Yeah.
It may have been 3.
They have.
Someone get the tally. They have 4 on the day. Or night, depending where you're watching from. Here's Booker. Booker trapped, there it is. Carlton, the release valve, Harmon, what a pass. And the lay from Cunningham. Harmon's done that a couple of times already.
Yeah, astute play.
Michigan should be holding for 1. Swords trying to let Quarles-Daniels know, and now she realizes it. Five seconds left in the quarter. Swords fires. Can't bank it in. That'll do it for the first. Texas shoots 11 of 12 from the floor. 11 of 12 in the first, highest percentage in any quarter under Vic Schaefer for Texas.
And now you see Michigan coming out in their zone defense this time, trying to change things up, change the rhythm.
And Kim Barnes-Rico told us earlier today, hey, we're 95% man, as Lee can't hit the 3, but she said if we have to go zone, we're going to do it.
Something they did earlier in the season against Connecticut that completely changed the complexion of that game.
Booker banks it in, plus the foul. And Madison, Booker a chance for 3.
Owning the real estate yet. Booker now with the opportunity for the and 1.
And that is number 2 on Quarles-Daniels. Decander nods her head of approval, saying that was the right call as Booker completes the 3-point play. It's a 16-point Texas lead. Olsen gets swallowed up by Oldacre. Oldacre in off the bench, coming off a big Sweet 16 performance. Carlton surrounded by 3 in the corner. Booker a 3, in and out. And a whistle going to go the other way as Carlton picks up the personal.
That's what we've seen in the quarter court defensively from Michigan. Anytime a Texas big catches it on the block, she's going to get a lot of attention and multiple bodies over to her, and then get a nice pass out of it here as Carlton goes in to box out, gets called for the foul.
Number 2 on Carlton. And now Ashton Judd will come in for Texas. Olsen missed it badly. Harmon off the carom, running with Lee.
Feels like Olivia Olsen's trying to get the 16 points back every single time down the floor. She needs to settle in a little bit.
Judd delivers. Lee around and off. Booker the O-board. Another chance for Texas. Lee again, a wide open 3. That one back ironing off. Lee has gotten some great looks from 3 in this quarter. Swords, what a delivery. Just so quick, her release.
And those are the shots that Kim Barnes-Rico told us she wanted her team to get when they push in transition. If they get the right player taking the 3, they want to get that. When Vanderbilt beat Texas earlier this season, they were able to score in transition in a similar way.
Oldacre the deep catch and pops it in. Kim Barnes-Rico was particularly concerned about Oldacre as that's deflected off of Michigan. That's just the 3rd Michigan turnover, while Texas has 6 of them. Dudley will check in for Michigan with Holloway, Olsen, Swords, and Delphos. Texas with Booker, Harmon, Lee, Judd, and Oldacre in off the bench. Lee curling around, giving it up. 5 to shoot. Harmon with 3. Lee, a deep one. That one's off as well, and Holloway the rebound. Lee now 0 for 4 from 3. But certainly a big-time threat from there. Swords, youngest player on the Canadian national team, directing traffic. Dudley put it on the deck, poked away by Booker. Gets it back from Lee. Booker gets fouled by Holloway. That will be her first, and Booker will go to the line. The coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues on TBS. Starting Saturday at 6 Eastern. For tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Illinois, UConn will be up first. I mean, how about... that was one of the most astonishing endings to a basketball game you will ever see with UConn and Duke yesterday.
One of the best men's NCAA tournament games I've ever seen.
And the reaction from the UConn women that they posted on Instagram, on the UConn women page, to the men's end of game was just incredible.
Was it almost as good as Danny Hurley's mom's reaction?
No, that took the cake. She was channeling America as Holloway can't finish. Judd the rebound. Texas ahead with Booker. Her 3 rims off. And that's going to be a foul against Texas. And it'll go on Judd.
Vic Schaefer just looked at Madison Booker and said, calm down. He doesn't mind her taking 3s, but probably not in that exact situation.
In fact, this year he wanted her taking some more 3s. She's had a modest amount of attempts. 2 for 13 on layups in this first half.
They've missed a lot of shots at the rim.
Dudley, I mean, there's another one.
Yes.
If you're going to beat Texas, you're going to have to make those. Plain and simple. A reminder, South Carolina TCU up next on ESPN. Judd coughs it up out of bounds. Michigan basketball. This is a Michigan team that has had a historic season, 28 wins, tied for the most. Getting Michigan to a second Elite 8. Now, prior to her arriving, they had 4 20-win seasons, 5 tournament appearances in their history. Since her arrival, 13 20-win seasons, and this is their 9th tournament appearance. Trying to head to a first Final Four. Swords in and out on a 3. Dudley escaping the arms to the finish.
Nice job by Dudley. She set the on-ball screen that helped get Swords the look over Oldacre's drop coverage, and then went in and able to get the rebound and a tough finish.
Harmon has scored or assisted on 16 of 29 Texas points. Lee, 3 to shoot, fakes the 3, little mid-range short. And gonna stay here as Oldacre had body strafed all over her.
Wow, there's a lot of physicality happening inside, able to finally wrestle it away and finish, but that should have been a foul.
Texas 11 of 12 in the first quarter, 2 of 9 here in the second. 6 to shoot. Lee, pass behind her, 2 seconds left. Lee couldn't squeeze it up and in. A lot of these possessions, the ball's ended up in Lee's hands late in the shot clock, trying to create. So Fakanik nearly threw it away. Good job to save it. Swords gets a clean look. Leaves it short. Booker the rebound. Michigan's just been unable to capitalize on getting some stops here in the second. After giving up 22 points in the first, they've given up 7 here in the second, but have scored just 5 themselves.
They've not felt like they've been in rhythm at all offensively this entire half. Much of that is because of Texas's D.
Lee missed that one badly. And that's out of bounds to Michigan.